Hey, this is Wylene Benson, and if you've been living paycheck to paycheck, you have found the right video. I'm excited to be with you today. I want to share a story with you that just became apparent to me about a year ago. And I entitled this story, The Breakfast of Abundance. For 6 years in a row, I went to an amazing dude ranch in Montana, and they had the most amazing food. Like for breakfast, I walked into the place where we ate breakfast, and they had one whole table that was just for oatmeal. So they had the oatmeal in the middle of the table, they had fruit, they had nuts, they had granola, milk, yogurt, whatever you could think of to put on top of this oatmeal. And I went directly there and I got my oatmeal and I put all the fruit and the nuts and everything that they had. I just put brown sugar, everything on top of this oatmeal, and it was this mounding over bowl that was amazing, amazingly abundant. And I went and sat down. As I started to eat my breakfast, my oatmeal, the lady came over to me and she said, "Would you like a hot breakfast?" And I looked at my oatmeal and I thought, well, this is hot, but sure, bring me a hot breakfast. Let's see what that is. And so she brought me another breakfast that was eggs Benedict and ham and juice and all these other things. And it was just this amazingly abundant breakfast that I had never really allowed myself before. And every single morning while I was there at this dude ranch, I went in and fixed my breakfast, fixed my oatmeal, and then I sat down. They would ask me if I wanted a hot breakfast, and I said yes. And I would eat it all, because it was so abundant and it just felt so good. I never got too full. It just was perfect. And what I found then was when I went home, I went back to my plain old boring oatmeal with brown sugar on it, brown sugar and milk. And I had that all year long. And then the next year I went back to this dude ranch, had my amazing abundant oatmeal with the hot breakfast, and I enjoyed it for a whole week while I was there. And then I would go back home and just go back to my oatmeal with brown sugar. And I did that for 6 years. And then after the 6 years was up and I wasn't going to this dude ranch anymore, about a year ago, so it would have been 20 years later, because this was when I was younger, when I was going to this dude ranch, about 20 years later, which was about a year ago, it just dawned on me. I have access to blueberries. I have access to strawberries. I have access to granola. I have access to yogurt. I have access to brown sugar. All these things that were on my oatmeal, I had in my kitchen. Or if I didn't have in the kitchen, they were just down at the grocery store and easily attainable. Why had I been settling for oatmeal with brown sugar for 20 years when I could have been having a breakfast of abundance? And I had access to everything, and it was totally affordable to me. So that's the question that I have for you. How are you living in mediocrity? And not even just living in mediocrity, how are you fighting for your mediocrity? How are you fighting for scarcity? How are you fighting to keep yourself paycheck to paycheck? So really be open to see how you do that. I know I personally used to always shop the scratch and dent section in the furniture store, and I would always go to the clearance aisle in the department stores. I would just beeline for it. I wouldn't even look at everything else. I would think, okay, this is brand new stuff, so I probably can't afford that. So I'm just going to go straight over here to the clearance rack. And what I found was when I started becoming more conscious of money and how I had been fighting for my mediocrity, I actually found that I can afford much of what's in the stores, that it really is affordable and it's not an extremely high price. So I began to start shopping and not looking at price tags. Now, occasionally I would get up to the store or up to the counter and they would tell me what the price was, and I'd be like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm going to put that back because that's just a little more than what I was expecting to pay. But it's not because I can't afford it. It's because to me, the value of that item is less than the price that they had put on it. So there's a difference in energy around money and abundance than I used to have. I'm going to invite you, as you go about your day today and as you go about your week throughout the week, to consider how you talk to money, how you act around money, how you invite money into your life. And the way that I'm going to invite you to do that is to change out the word money with friend. So when you invite a friend over, if a friend shows up at your door, how do you greet them? Do you warmly welcome them in? Or do you say, oh, no, thank you? When money comes knocking at your door, do you warmly invite them in with a hug? Or do you say, oh, no, thank you? So any sentence that you might use the word money in, trade out the word friend and see how you've been treating your money. See if you've been treating it like a friend, or see if you've been treating it like somebody that you don't want to see. Money only goes where it feels welcome. And I had a really good friend of mine tell me money has ears, and they really do. On all the dollar bills, there's a person's face and it has ears. And what you say about money and how you talk about money, it hears you. And it will only come where it feels welcome. You know, what you believe and what you put focus on will inevitably come to you. And so the way that you live, if you feel like you live in abundance, if you look around your home, if you look around your life and you count your blessings and you're so grateful for everything that you have, then abundance, more abundance will continue to come to you. More things that you can be grateful for will come to you. If you look around your house and you look around your home and you see the scarcity, you see what you lack, you see maybe what others have that you don't, then more scarcity, more lack, more things that other people have that you don't will continue to show up for you. I changed my attitude about anything that has to do with money. I began to learn the language of money, the energy of money, and to align myself with where money shows up and how money flows. One of the things that I did was just kind of a comical thing, but it really worked for me, is I changed the connotation of the word bill. I used to say, oh, it's another bill. And again, going back to that money and friends, it was like, please go away. Well, I changed the connotation of bill to a dollar bill. And now I say, I love my bills. I love my dollar bills. I love my $10 bills. I love my $50 bills. I love my $100 bills. And so changing that and now welcoming when my mail comes, it's like, all right, it's another bill. I love my bills. Then I get to have more experiences in my life that I get to spend money on. So things that I've spent, things that I've used money on that have created experiences for myself are like a trip to Bali that my husband and I took last June, a trip to Mexico that my husband and I took last December, a trip to Disneyland that my family took in February. So these are all things that we receive bills for, and I got to celebrate them because these were experiences and memories that we got to create together. So love your bills, because either they're bills like dollar bills, $10 bills, $50 bills, or they're bills that represent an experience that you chose to put money in. And if you're living paycheck to paycheck, it probably means that you've set a bare minimum that's okay for you to make, and a lifestyle that is okay for you to have. And so I'm going to encourage you to just take a look at that. Is it working for you? Is it working for you to make this certain amount of money, only this certain amount? Is it worth it to you to have this much space left in your bank account when the month is over? Is it working for you to maybe even have a deficit in your bank account when the month is over? And if it's not working for you, then don't keep doing it. Don't keep choosing it. Choose something different. You do have that choice. You have the ability to choose where you stand in your financial situation. So whatever it is, whatever you choose to create, learn to speak that language of money. Learn to welcome it in like a long lost friend that you haven't seen for a while. Because if you've been living paycheck to paycheck, there might be a bit of that feeling of not having seen money for a while. So allow that money to come in just like a long lost friend, and embrace it and be grateful for it. And look around yourself and see all the abundance that you do have, everything that you already have created, and that it's enough, that you're living, that you're fine, that you're doing well. And speak that language of money and be grateful for everything that you have. Be grateful for your bills, be grateful for the experiences that that creates, and just be open to more abundance. So now you know how to stop living in mediocrity, how to start living in abundance, and welcoming money into your space. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe.